This issue is critical to returning America to sanity. Once the scales come off your eyes on this issue, now you'll start seeing the rest of the world differently. Because here is one of the biggest stories in sports. There has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro.
There was a recent occasion when Billie Jean King gave Caitlin Clark a significant shout out, but it was not for Nike. That is right, and a representative from Adidas is congratulating the most promising rookie for Nike. There is a discrepancy between the two. Even more insane than that, these were not your typical remarks of praise. King was rejoicing the fact that Clark had won the Rookie of the Year award. I am very impressed by that. Why, therefore, is Adidas showing their support for a Nike athlete? Imagine LeBron James wearing Under Armour stuff. That's what it's like. That is not even close to being logical. Where exactly does Nike fit into all of this? In spite of the fact that they have a superstar rookie who is tearing up the court and destroying records left and right, they continue to remain silent. How are things going to play out behind the scenes here? Is Adidas attempting to take the limelight from Nike, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Let's investigate this peculiar circumstance and find out what's actually going on in the world of women's basketball sponsorship, shall we? When Nike signed Caitlin Clark to an endorsement agreement consisting of 8 years and $28 million, they struck gold. This begs the question, why in the world? Try to put the sponsorship problem out of your mind for a moment. What would you think if I told you that Caitlin Clark achieved something that no other player in the history of the Women's National Basketball Association has ever done? No, not in their first year, not when they were at their peak, and never. Yes, you are accurate. Simply put, Clark is exceptional. Truly, she is remarkable. However, they do not feel that women are capable of carrying a sport on their own. It is precisely because of this that Caitlin Clark poses such a threat. It is because of this that Caitlin Clark is deserving of being destroyed, due to the fact that Caitlin Clark is demonstrating the exact opposite. The game as we know it is being revolutionized by the record that she is successfully breaking. Let us talk about the numbers. The first season of Clark was not only incredible, but it was also a historic one. By establishing a record for the most assists in a single season, she demonstrated that she is capable of being a genuine team player in addition to being a scorer. But hold on, there's plenty more. Her ability to put points on the board like it was no one's business was demonstrated by the fact that she also established a new record for scoring by a rookie. What do you know that is absolutely insane? Clark made history by becoming the first rookie in the history of the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, to record a triple-double, which happens when a player has double-digit points, rebounds, and assists in a single game. The Ragnosian Sports Center is a complete and utter surprise to virtually no one. The WNBA has honored Caitlin Clark with the title of Rookie of the Year. Over the course of her first season with the Warriors, the player who was selected first overall not only broke records for rookies, but she also broke a few league records, including the record for the most points scored by a guard in a single season. But hold on, there's plenty more. By the end of his first season, Clark had established new marks for points, assists, and three-pointers. Overall, her 337 assists set a new record for the WNBA single-season record. She was also the first rookie in the history of the Women's National Basketball Association to achieve a triple-double, and she did it twice. Imagine that she is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. It is the same thing. However, that was not the end of her story. Clark was also the only rookie in the history of the NBA to score 100 three-pointers in a single season. The way you are shooting is not just excellent, it is completely changing the game. At this point in her career, she is opening up the floor and extending defenses in ways that we have never seen from a rookie before. At this point, you might be wondering how she stacks up against the greats of the WNBA. In any case, let me tell you that she is not simply piling up, but rather she is soaring above them. In the annals of WNBA history, her performance during her debut season has been referred to as a defining event. We are not simply discussing a player who is absolutely fantastic. Rather, we are discussing a person who is bringing about a change in the league. The queens of the world, she will not bow down to black women. She refuses to accept the luxury she enjoys. Specifically, Caitlin Clark is the issue. In point of fact, Caitlin Clark is the answer to the problem. The motivation comes from her. The evidence is in her. For example, Jackie Robinson was the proof that these black men are capable of playing baseball. Oh yes, these black men can play some baseball. playing Clark's game is having an effect on the real world. There is a rise in the number of people attending WNBA games. The ratings on television are surging, and goods sales are soaring off the shelves. One could say that she is the sole agent responsible for infusing the league with adrenaline. Nevertheless, despite the fact that Caitlin Clark has been dazzling the court, there is a peculiar occurrence occurring off of it. She is being ignored by one of the most well-known brands in the sports industry. What is going on with Nike, and more importantly, why are fans reconsidering their commitment to the brand? In this discussion, let's talk about the big $28 million contract that Clark has with Nike. One would imagine that they would be yelling her name from the rooftops, wouldn't you agree? Now, however, comes the peculiar part. Since the month of April, Nike has been ghosting her. There is not a single word regarding her achievements, which is correct. It's almost as if they didn't remember she existed after signing her. All she wants is to be the best basketball player you've ever seen. She is dealing with Nike, an organization that acquired her on a bargain basement deal, and is telling her, well, we are going to wait to promote you until we are finished promoting A'ja Wilson. She is caught up in this political issue, and she is also caught up in this racial discussion. She is also dealing with Nike. It is possible that you are under the impression that Nike is simply too busy with other athletes. Please have a look at this. While they have been relatively quiet about Clark, they have been all over Diana Taurasi and A'ja Wilson. They have made numerous posts that highlight her achievements and show her off as if she were the sole star in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA. This stands in stark contrast to the way in which they view Clark. Where are the fans exactly? They do not feel content. The comment section of social media is crowded with people who are really dissatisfied with Nike products. One of Nike's fans responded by asking, "Where is the love for Caitlin Clark?" You are remaining mute despite the fact that she is breaking records left and right. Another person mentioned that although I have been a Nike supporter for many years, the lack of support for Clark is causing me to reconsider my devotion to the brand. Caitlin Clark has inked a significant endorsement agreement with Nike. This arrangement was for a period of 8 years for a total cost of $28 million, and it included a signature sneaker. At first glance, it appeared to be an incredible offer. You guys, now that she has signed this contract, her WNBA season has come and gone, and she is no longer playing in the league. And despite this, Nike has not made a single effort to increase her visibility. We have not been exposed to any advertisements. We have not come across any advertisements. We have not come across any items featuring Caitlin Clark. Without a doubt, we have not come across any sneakers that bear the Caitlin Clark signature. It blows my head for sure. Even more insane than that. On April 7th, Nike provided their final update regarding Clark. They made a big deal out of the fact that they were going to promote her, complimenting her electric performance and pointing out how she was altering the game. How much has transpired since that time? When she was awarded Rookie of the Year, there was no reaction from anyone. If you were to offer a friend a large birthday celebration but then fail to send them a text message on their special day, it would be completely unacceptable. Nike investigated the marketing opportunity of a generation, and they are still using it to push products that have been there for a long time. If this is the case, why is it happening? Let me now bring to your attention the aspect of this that is the most startling. If you guys recall, Nike launched advertisements on Caitlin Clark when she was playing for Iowa. At the time, she broke the record for the most points scored in the history of the NCAA for both men and women. The massive billboard that Nike erected reads, "If you break it, you own it." This is their message to the public. It was in the state of Iowa. Other advertisements and things were released by them as well. Then again, since that time, it has been no, this is not merely peculiar. Because of this, supporters are beginning to reevaluate their dedication to the corporation. A lot of people are scratching their heads and wondering why Nike would sign this up-and-coming talent and then act as if she does not exist. The situation is no longer solely about Clark. How Nike promotes women's sports in general is the topic of this discussion. This is the point at which things start to become extremely interesting. A different individual has made their voice heard, whereas Nike has kept silent. Also, it is not the person you might think it is. It has been reported that a spokeswoman for Adidas is applauding Clark. You did indeed read that correctly. A Nike athlete is the one that Adidas is pulling for. Where does that come from? Is Nike actually playing checkers while Adidas is playing chess in 4 dimensions? When it comes to Caitlin, why in the world are they keeping such a low profile? Whatever the case may be, there is a lot of activity taking place behind the scenes at Nike. This year, their stock has shed almost 20%. I am aware that they have terminated employees and employed new staff members. In other words, there are a lot of moving pieces. That seems like such a trivial matter to me, and I am aware that they are putting some of the blame on that, but when you consider the fact that Caitlin Clark is a gold mine, that seems like such a minor detail. Caitlin Clark is not receiving the plaudits, the commercials, the advertisements, the merchandise, and everything else that she ought to have during this rookie season. It appears to me that the reason for this is more on the political side of things. Do you remember when there was a value placed on brand loyalty? You should forget everything you thought you knew about sponsorships in the sports industry. There is a new player in town, and they are not adhering to the regulations that were previously in place. Here comes Billie Jean King, a tennis legend who also serves as a global spokesperson for Adidas. She recently published a shocking post on social media in which she expressed her congratulations to Caitlin Clark on being named Rookie of the Year. What exactly is the big deal, you might be wondering at this point? The kicker is right here. As an ambassador for Adidas, King is pulling for a player who represents Nike. That's like Pepsi complimenting Coca-Cola on their new flavor. There's no comparison. Simply said, it has not occurred up until this point. It wasn't simply a simple congratulations that King sent out in his tweet. In addition to highlighting Clark's record-breaking season, she referred to Clark as a talent that transcends generations. This is not praise that is without depth. The move is well thought out, and it has everyone talking about it. What else is there to say? The fans are having a wonderful time with it. Please allow me to take a moment to zoom out. Adidas is not merely aiming to grab the limelight from Nike in this situation. There's a lot more to it than that. The way in which corporations sponsor female athletes is brought into the forefront by this decision. Clark's reputation is enhanced as a result of King's commendation, which also serves as a reminder to everyone that women's sports require more respect and support. Where are the fans exactly? There is no silence coming from them. On social media, many are pleased at the unexpected support that Clark has received. One of the fans put it most eloquently. Caitlin is a skill that stands the test of time, and it is wonderful to see that the greats of the sporting world have acknowledged her. Billie Jean King went so far as to caution players in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, not to squander the chance to compete with Caitlin Clark. Veterans of the Women's National Basketball Association have been playing a fervent defense against Clark during her rookie season. Things reached a boiling point on Saturday when skyguard Kennedy Carter hit her with a cheap shot that was not related to basketball and has not yet apologized. King cautioned the leadership of the WNBA to avoid making a mistake with this situation. Since this generation is so vital to the WNBA, it is imperative that you serve as a model for them. There are juveniles observing. How would you like to be remembered by others? This current generation has the potential to completely transform this league. Do not let your resentment consume you. Make sure you don't blow it. It's just a fun game. In King's words, play hard, but don't take any bad shots. You've arrived to NBA Today. Malika Anders is my name. The W, where Caitlin Clark has just been honored with the title of Rookie of the Year for 2024, is where we begin our show together. During her first season, Clark led the league in assists and averaged 19.5 points per game. She also led the league in assists. King stressed how much Clark, who was the top pick in the 2024 selection and had broken the NCAA's all-time scoring record the previous season, had already helped the league. Clark was selected during the draft. This year marks a turning point in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, which has been a wonderful league in the past with incredible performers such as Maya Moore, Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, Aja Wilson, and Brianna Stewart, amongst others. Moreover, she stated that it was because of Caitlin. With the WNBA breaking college records and everyone donning the no 22 jersey, things are looking up for women's sports in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA. All of these sellouts and all of this attention can be attributed to the fact that they are wonderful for everyone, and we need to keep that going now. In spite of the fact that you may not like it, Caitlin is the explanation for such a significant amount of interest. This woman is a superstar. When she is successful, everyone becomes more successful. Things are going to get better for the league. The veterans served as the foundation, and now Caitlin and the rest of the rookie class have this great opportunity to take the league to a completely different level. The first season of Clark's career was a momentous one. She recorded the most points in her rookie season, the most assists in any season ever, and she even fooled about and got a couple of triple-doubles, which is something that no other rookie has ever done. Nothing else has ever been accomplished by a rookie. All of a sudden, this is not just about one individual. Fans are now anticipating more from all female athletes currently competing. So what exactly is Adidas doing in this situation? Could they be making an attempt to sneak up on Clark and take him away from Nike? Perhaps. The likelihood of them playing a longer game, on the other hand, is significantly higher. They are working to portray themselves as a firm that is not only supportive of women's sports when it is convenient, but also supports them in a real way. With this strategy, the entire landscape of sponsorship is being turned upside down. There is now more to it than simply affixing a brand to a piece of clothing. As a result, fans anticipate that sponsors will actively promote and laud their sportsmen. Let's say they don't do it. It seems that the competition is more than willing to participate in the competition. However, here is the actual game changer. As a result of this event, we are reevaluating the manner in which we assist female athletes. It is not sufficient to sign them and then forget about them after signing them. Companies must be yelling their successes from the rooftops in order to get their attention. Let's say they don't do it. It would appear that many are prepared to switch clubs. Let us discuss the events that took place just now. At the freshman level, Caitlin Clark had an outstanding performance. The response from Nike, not a single sound. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, Adidas makes a move that nobody saw coming. There is a sense that the world of sports has been turned completely upside down. This is the question that really matters. What do you anticipate from the companies that provide financial support to the athletes that you admire? Do they have the right to boast about their achievements, especially in the realm of women's sports? Alternatively, would it be acceptable for them to simply take a back seat and let the players do all of the talking? What if I told you, it's time for the fans to make their voices heard? These companies need to be held accountable for their actions. It is possible that the sustainability of sponsorships for women's sports is in jeopardy. It is imperative that we make some noise if we want to see greater support media and everything else associated with female athletes. Are you ready to make some changes to the situation?